G'day guys, and welcome to another dreadful vape review. Today I am reviewing this tiny little thing here from Freemax called the Max Pod. Alrighty, can you see that one nice and clear? It is a shiny, shiny boy. Alright, the Freemax Max Pod. Little tiny pod with replaceable coils. Love it. Those ones just pop in and out nice and easy. I'm not going to take this one out because the pod is full of juice. We're not really going to have an up close today because, don't really need it for this guy. Have only tried the one coil so far, and that's the 1.0 ohm coil. It does also come in the package with a 1.5 ohm, which will be really, really good for those mouth to lung and nic salt users. I'm vaping on the Fruit Monster Mixed Berry. It's a 25 milligram nic salt on the 1 ohm coil. Tell you what, the flavour from this little guy is pretty good. We all know Freemax have been pretty well known for their mesh coils in the past, and putting that mesh coil into this tiny little thing, it's a small coil, but it really, really does the job. It's quite satisfying. I'm a huge user of the Yearn. I was going to say Caliburn for a second, but no, the Yearn from UL. And I think this is actually a pretty big contender against it. It's not as tight on the airflow, although if I put my finger over the side here, there's a little hole there. You can see the pinprick there. There's one on either side. So what I have been doing is just sort of put my finger over one of those. Reduces that airflow down a little bit, and it's a nice mouth to lung hit. I am looking forward to using the other coil, but for the time being, it's doing its job pretty well. So in the box, you do get all the standard bits and pieces. You do get the secondary coil, one pre-installed in the pod, the user's manual, quality control cards, warning cards, all that sort of jazz. The little tray that it sits in. But what I have been enjoying, and I have been using quite a bit of, is this little guy, lanyards. So instead of putting my finger over that hole, I just position the silicon from the lanyard there. One's still exposed, the other one's under there, blocks it off for me. And off I go. Really, really good. I'm really impressed with such a small device. Once again, this device was sent to me for the purpose of the review from Victory Vape. They've been sending me a few little bits and pieces to get up online content for you guys. So really, really happy with that. Thanks again, Steve and Stacey. I don't really know much more to say. I don't really have any cons against the device. I love the fact that it is nice, magnet, clicky. The replaceable coils rather than the disposable pods. I really, really like that. I don't really like things that are a huge environmental impact. So the fact that we're not constantly throwing away these little plastic pods is a huge, huge bonus for me. Performance-wise on the battery, it has a 550 mAh battery, and the juice capacity is a 2 mil little pod. So it gets you going throughout the day, and the battery life has been pretty good for me on this one as well. The wattage is 8 watts to 11 watts, depending on the battery charge and the coils that you're using. So it's still really, really low wattage, keeping that battery life extended as much as possible for such a small battery. But yeah, small pod, small review. If you want to get your hands on one, they're only about $40 Australian. I haven't had a look online for any of the US sites as yet, but any of those Aussies out there, it's pretty cheap, and for what it is, it's pretty good. I'm very happy with it. I'm probably going to use it more often than the Yearn pod, just because coil availability is a bit better for me, and it's a bit newer. So this has become the new little sidekick that's always going to rock around in the pocket from now on. Yeah, Really, really do enjoy that. Now, as for the up and closey time that we spoke about in the previous video, I have had someone come up with a new name. So they will get a shout out in my next up close video. I'm not going to tell you what it's called just yet, but keep an eye out for the next review and we'll see what they've come up with. So once again, everyone, thanks very much for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you all later. Keep vaping, people.